Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian, and I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies.
And I'm Ryan, and I'm wrestling with the fact that your audience might not like my takes on this particular Christmas movie.
And this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Brian, during that intro, was playing an upright bass and a violin.
Switched it over to the violin.
Two instruments that I am positive are not in that song at all.
You don't know.
Wait a second.
You don't know Jack Diddley about
He
that.
had me
Really?
locked in the
You
office
weren't there.
for 2
You
days.
weren't there in the studio.
I was. We recorded it.
No, not the music part.
Yep.
Upright bass and violin. are in
Brian
there.
did the whole thing.
Man, shows you what I'm sorry.
I scratched my upright bass
You
leaving the studio.
Scratch your
So-
upright bass.
Upright.
What a day today
Yeah,
is.
it is.
We have a guest. Ryan, can you tell people really quick anything about you?
Anything at all?
Anything at all?
Sure. The baseline is, hi, everybody. Ryan Pappolla. I work at WWE. I'm a host on a show called WWE's The Bump, several other wrestling-related programs, and I really enjoy Christmas films, and we'll talk about this one particularly shortly, but I am thrilled to be here. Day oneer. I've been listening since the start.
Since the start, Ryan.
Since the start.
Thanks to Entertainment Weekly. May they rest. But yeah, they gave me the heads up, and I was there.
How about that?
Wow.
How do you think Brian's doing?
Oh, excellent. Panda who?
Yeah, wow.
Panda who?
He said.
Panda who?
Wow.
That's right.
I mean,
Wow.
you got the WWE crowd
Now,
going for you.
This is going to
Now,
seem.
Ryan, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm not sorry. Ryan, Brandon's been trying to make this more of a wrestling podcast for years now.
God
And
bless him.
I dropped the ball. He comes in today. Doesn't tell me we have a guest.
Right.
Next
Or
thing you
me.
know, we just have a wrestling show hosts on Deck the Hallmark. What the bleep's going on in Deck the
Well,
Hallmark?
this is going to seem like I'm really good at planning. On Monday, I brought up WWE. And I decided to just really lean into it.
That's right.
And so I brought on a guest to help me out here and talk about how great The Undertaker is. And that's actually all that we're doing today.
it.
Mount Rushmore wrestlers, go.
For me, that's really tough. But I would go Sting, The Undertaker, big Kurt Angle fan, and then
Okay.
the fourth is really tough to fall into place. But pillar to post, if you will, on the feet to fire, I'd go Triple H.
Yeah,
Triple H.
I knew it was coming.
The right answer
Did
is Diamond Dallas Page in all four spots. So I'm sorry you missed it.
DDP once offered me free yoga via email, so I love that guy.
Man, I wish we had time for that story.
I think we do. What? Why?
When I wasn't always on camera at WWE. I started as a writer for the website, and I worked with Joey Styles, who's a former ECW commentator. He said DDP will give anyone free yoga here if you work at WWE. So I cold call emailed DDP, and he got right back to me minutes later. He said, "Yeah, man, here's a link." And what a guy! What a human!
We should do that.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and pass along that email
I would
address.
love to
It's
see
from
this.
2015. I'll dig it up.
He's probably still doing it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. And what's been your experience with Hallmark Christmas movies? How often have you been diving into these?
Yeah, Bran, I think you and I have a similar origin story. That I was a big 25 Days of Christmas ABC Family guy,
Yeah.
and I am a yearly multiple Hallmark Lifetime GAC watcher. I do not watch every Hallmark flick just because time is a thing that exists in the world.
Right.
But I average probably just strictly Hallmark 10 to 15 a year probably.
Actually,
Wow.
you're just a thoughtful fella. You're
This
just a
guy.
thoughtful fellow.
Above and
Is it kind of like I know Mick Foley loves
Loves
Hallmark
it.
Christmas movies. We've actually almost had him on multiple times, and it keeps falling
twice
through.
he's
But
confirmed, and the day before.
Mick Foley stuff. He's
That's
got to
right.
throw somebody through a table or something.
Yep.
But it's kind of like it's the opposite. Similar to our guy Doug Jones, who does monster stuff, and then when he comes home, he wants to watch Hallmark Christmas movies. Is it kind of like that for you, where it's like the polar opposite of wrestling?
Basically, yeah, for sure. I mean, wrestling is how I make my living. It's probably my first passion, but I often say that I work in the combat sports entertainment field, and I'm basically a pacifist who just wants to see Taylor Cole fall in love in fall and every other season, you know?
That's right. How much do I need to care about Logan Paul as a wrestler? Should I start
Guy's
caring?
a heck of an athlete. I'm sure you saw the clip of him taking a selfie.
I saw the clip.
It's for 3 matches in. I not to subsede the hot take before we get to the actual hot take. Guy is really, really dang good. So a good amount care about him as a wrestler.
I don't like that at all.
We're wrong.
Thanks for coming, Ryan. We'll see you next week, buddy.
We'll do a weekly wrestling corner with
Check
Ryan.
in with you.
Wrestling corner. That's right.
Yeah, I'm against
Inside the ring with Ryan.
Up against the turnbuckle with Ryan. All right. Are we ready to talk about Lights, Camera, Christmas?
Born ready.
Lights, Camera, Christmas originally aired on November 5th, 2022. It went a little something like this. The movie kicks off at a movie premiere of a movie called My Favorite Santa, which is going to be streaming on our favorite platform, Dazzle Plus. We love Dazzle Plus. They do a Q&A after the screening, and everybody is super pumped for the star, Brad Baxter. He is what they call the king of Christmas movies. They call on people for some questions, and the first one is a woman who seems to really be embarrassing the daughter that she has next to her. She raves about the costumes in the movie, and it turns out that her embarrassed daughter, Carrie, did the costume, so they call her on stage, and they're like, hi, can you tell us how you got involved with My Favorite Santa? And then we get like we go to where a Hallmark Christmas movie would normally start. It's like a flashback thing, but it's like it's not like typical Hallmark flashbacks are like it's fuzzy, with pink around it.
This is still a flashback. Though.
Yes. I'm just saying it's different.
Okay.
but also the same.
It's still a flashback.
Hey, don't make me Tombstone Pile Driver you. She starts.
I would like to see you try. Actually,
Can we clear this
Can we
table
put
out of
that
here?
on the vlog? Can we put you trying to Tombstone Pile Drive me?
We have to refinish this at
Hey,
fruitcake.
hey, Ryan, are you like close personal friends with Undertaker?
I've interviewed him in person once and several times. Yeah. So what do you need?
I need you to set me up with me going to his training facility and teaching me how to do a tombstone.
Oh yeah, I'll make a call while you do the intro here. Yeah, great.
Yeah, very good.
Thanks, Ryan. So she starts, they're doing a flashback, and basically she's annoyed at the fact that there's a movie filming in her small town of 12 Oaks. She's walking downtown, and she bumps into Brad Baxter, who needs to use her phone and basically just takes it from her, gets on the call. She's not impressed by this guy. Carrie finds out that she's past due on her store payments. Maybe a pension's going to be coming in?
Ooh, magic
Oh,
Christmas
a pension, a mystery pension?
No, not this one. She is past due on some payments that she has. She has a store of clothes. To say that
Clothing store.
she has a store of clothes, and she might lose her business. Boys, we don't like that. The next day, star come into the store, and that's when she finds out that that's Brad Baxter. Brad Baxter's the famous Christmas guy. The co-star Mariah loves the clothes, and basically is like blown away when she finds that that she designs them all herself. She's like, wow, that's amazing. They leave without buying anything. The next day, director gets a call that his costume designer, she's not coming. She got a job with Matt Damon. So you don't come to work when you get a job from Matt Damon, best I could figure. Mariah is like, you should talk to Carrie. So he goes and basically buys the entire store and says, also, could you come down and help with the fittings just on the first day until I get somebody? Thanks so much. Love you. Bye. She crushes it. First day, she's like throwing out ideas for bits and stuff. And our guy Brad's loving it. She's crushing it. Lucky for her, they can't find any other costumer. And so they hire her for the full project. She has to spend a good bit of time with Brad, and obviously that leads to him developing a bit of a crush on her watching more and more of his Christmas movies and kind of digging them, and eventually he invites himself over to dinner at her mom's house, and they have an absolutely wonderful time. And she decides to apply. She's been thinking about this for a while, toying with the idea of applying for a big fashion design job in NYC because she's feeling really good about herself. And so she does it. And the next day, he asks her out on a proper date. They go on that proper date. It's amazing. They slow dance and they kiss. And we still got plenty to go, everybody.
Boy, do we.
Just hold on your horses. They play in the fake.
Did you say horse?
No, Rick.
Okay.
They play on the
It'd be
fake.
weird if you said it.
Stop. You a big wrestling fan, Rick?
Oh, huge wrestling.
Who's your
fan.
favorite wrestler?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
That is not even a remotely a surprise.
Ayo!
Thanks, Rick.
Ayo! That was his tagline. Ayo!
Yeah, we know.
Okay. just
We
making
know.
sure.
We know.
Rick is pumped.
You know,
Hacksaw.
Hacksaw
You don't mess with the hacksaw.
lived in my small town in Florida.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Tell me you have some stories.
I never saw him.
What?
It might have been a
No.
rumor around town, actually. I don't. It's so fake snow is where they were playing in, and so she then gets an email saying that they want to interview her, and she does the interview, and then she is talking with him about it, and it's like, hey, what do I do about this job? And he's like, hey, I got this job. I'm going to London, so just know that whatever you decide, I'll be in London, which is an interesting.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Which is an interesting thing to say, but I think it worked on her. I don't know. She ends up getting the job. She goes to set. She finds out that Ryan quit the job, the London job. And she's really annoyed by this. And I'm like, okay, settle down a little bit. Why are you so upset? But then we find out why she's so upset. And it's because she turned down the NYC job to go and work in London with him, which I honestly didn't know was on the table. I didn't know a job in London was on the table, but apparently it was.
He floated that out there.
He flirted it
Flirted
and flirted it. And so she's very mad. She's like, I did this thing. You didn't even think about me, blah, blah, blah. And so ultimately what happens is they get back. We're at the screening. They do the Q&A. They kind of update where they are in life, and she says that she's moved to LA and that she's working with the producer and the director and all that stuff, and she's got a whole career of it. And afterwards, the two of them, they're at this little after party thing, and he goes up to her and he's like, man, I'm so sorry, really blew it. She tries to walk away. He's like, no, hey, hold on real quick, let me tell you something, I'm really sorry about it. Did you hear it? She says, no, thank you. Walks away again. He's like, what do I got to do? And she's like, that. They kiss, like they smush heads real hard. They walk outside in front of the most beautiful green screen you'll ever see in your life. They kiss again. She winks at the camera, which is a callback to him winking at the camera in the movies. So that's fun. And that, my friends, was Lights, Camera, Christmas. That's exactly right. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll see what Ryan found out from The Undertaker, and we'll break down this movie here on Deck the Hallmark. Welcome back, Ryan. What'd you find out?
Get him a signed copy of the children's book, and he's happy to help.
Wow.
When's it going to be Christmas again? Available on Amazon.
Fantastic.
Are you
Unbelievable.
telling
that
The
easy.
Undertaker to go to Amazon and just
Man.
No.
I was
We'll
just saying
send it.
He
send
said
it.
the children's book. I was like, yeah,
that children's
that
book.
children's. Wow. I
There's
think
only
he-
one available this
That's
holiday
right.
That's right.
season.
That's exactly
Just
right.
one.
The children's book.
The
And
children's book.
And I
yes.
just send that just straight
To
to any
Undertaker.
any cemetery.
Death Valley.
Or? Death Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12
Death Valley.
Undertaker Drive, Death Valley.
Death Valley.
That's right.
That's
Yes.
exactly
Yes.
right. Let's break this movie down. Let's start the hot take. Brian, I will start with you as a courtesy.
Thank you.
What did you think about Lights, Camera, Christmas?
So I was really excited about this idea. I've had a Christmas story idea in my mind that I'm trying to work out, and it involves something in July.
So you don't want to give it away, clearly? You're trying to-
I cannot give away this right now. It's
it
not
involves
quite
something
ready.
in July.
That's awesome, dude.
It's like a Christmas in July Christmas story.
This is so cool.
And
This is so awesome. dude.
This idea of being on set during Christmas time, a movie that's about Christmas time, and seeing the behind the scenes pumped me up. and I was really looking
And so
forward.
it's nothing like your idea that you have, though.
No,
because that's in
guys,
July.
That's in July.
No.
It would be way
July,
different.
Very
It's actually
different.
really different.
I mean, all the movies use similar tactics. The stories aren't the same. It's the tactics I was in for, like behind the scenes
You've
stuff.
caught on to that in just few
Man,
short
you're
months.
just really dropping knowledge, just dropping dimes out of here.
Yeah, that's.
Did the movie pay off for you though?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Overall, I
yeah.
would say I didn't get. It wasn't like they were giving away all the secrets, but it was what was really cool and it was like a reminder at how hard people work on these movies. You see a lot of moving parts. You see the fun scene that everybody sees on screen. All the baked goods in shot, and then you see all the people who have a hand in making it all happen. So that's a good reminder this holiday season. Just shout out. Shout
Great
out
reminder.
to our casting crew.
Reminder.
Shout
Stay
out to our
tuned to Rob for
casting crew.
Brian's story, a Christmas in July Christmas kind of thing, coming soon to a bookstore.
A bookstore,
near
probably.
you.
That's right.
Probably, maybe a brick and mortar, maybe.
And tip of the
even-
cap to you behind the scenes, folks,
That's
as
right.
well. That
So
he
you
just
liked
learned
it.
about. Yeah.
I did like it,
Okay.
and I thought Kimberly Sustad and John Brotherton were great in those roles, right?
Yeah.
Like perfect for those characters.
Yes.
And yeah, that was I thought it was pretty funny too at parts. So I did enjoy. I did
All right.
enjoy this. Yeah.
You got there eventually. Let's tag Ryan, and
Tag him
Ryan's
in.
going to go to the
Tag
top
him in.
rope, and he's going to give us the hot tag. What do you think, Ryan?
I really, really wanted to like this movie, if for no other reason than I'm making a first impression here. Bran, I asked you to be on this show because I enjoy these films. I did not like this film though. I wanted to, and I it started with the Quentin Tarantino flash forward, flashback thing, and I was like, Bran, I agreed with you. I was like, this is really different for Hallmark. It's unique, even though it's not revolutionary. It's unique for these films. And after that, I'm a fan of both of these actors. It just didn't hit for me. It was surprisingly cliche by 2022 Hallmark standards, which I'm not sure is a compliment to Hallmark or a diss to the movie. They really wanted you to know Brad is the king of Christmas. I wish we used some of those first 25, 30 pages to make him a little more likable. I didn't care about the B plot with the producer and the director at all. I wanted to like this movie. I want your audience to like me. I'm the wrestling guy. I want to be the Christmas wrestling guy. I did not love this film.
Oh boy.
Can we really quick though? You mentioned a Christmas wrestling guy. I think there is something there. Some
is.
sort of character wrestler, like the Hurricane, but like better.
I think there's something I have this idea. It's going to be a Christmas wrestler guy in July.
Okay.
But you
That's
can't
actually-
tell us anything
that's
else.
really
Wait
good.
a second.
Yeah,
That's
it
really
should be in
good.
July. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the key. Got it.
Going to change the whole thing.
That's right. Because
We should talk.
you could do it in December. You
Yeah.
could do it at
Anybody
Christmas.
That's what everybody's doing.
Yeah, you don't. It's a mess. What's that called in wrestling? The bad guy. There's
The heel.
The heel. That's
Yeah.
what it is,
Yeah.
the heel. Okay.
Yeah. You think the Christmas wrestler guy's a heel?
He's starting out as a heel. I think it's
Man,
the
that's
beginning
tough for Brandon.
of the journey.
Brandon.
There could be a good Christmas wrestler guy and a bad Christmas wrestler
Yeah,
guy.
like a
That could-
Krampus.
There's many ways to take. Wow, what a poll! Yeah, there's many ways to take it for sure.
Yeah.
There's something there in July.
What would
In
the
July.
what
In
would
July.
a Christmas wrestler guy's finisher be? The North Star? I don't
Cream.
know.
Ooh,
Obviously.
North Star.
Yeah.
The Jolly Saint Nick. The
Candy Cane Crusher.
Ooh, the
the
Candy
Candy
Cane
Cane
Crusher.
Crusher's
Candy
not
Cane
bad.
Crusher. I'm
That's
not even
really
going to
good.
give an entry. That's
All right.
it.
Yeah.
I
All right,
mean,
Brian. You
we
can
did.
stick
You can
around.
stick around.
At least
Well,
until
you were-
July.
you
We'll
were
see
to
how
the
it
end of
plays
your
out.
probation, but we'll give you one more episode.
Despite that hot take,
I got a thing I'm working on a project. Is it with Steven Spielberg?
any
Brian?
screenwriters
You're
listening?
not like what is going on? It's in the works. I signed an NDA. There's nothing I can do about it. For
July.
my secret Christmas in July pitch.
I really like this movie. I thought that it was a ton of fun, very different. Really liked the two leads. I thought it was very funny. It made me giggle. I did feel like even though we got the kiss like halfway through the movie, the last act still it felt like weirdly like I don't know, like there was like, I don't know. It just felt like rushed
Yeah, it
at
did
the same
feel
time,
rushed, yeah.
but also slow at the same time. I don't really know how they managed to do
They
that.
stopped a lot.
I didn't like the arguments, the whole thing. Like I didn't love that. And I also didn't really like the apology thing at the end. All of that didn't necessarily work for me. But the first good 2/3 of this
That's
movie,
right.
I really, really liked. And I would like more of that. I did like Hallmark, kind of winking at tropes and behind the scenes stuff. And like, we know that the snow doesn't look real and stuff like that. So like, I did really like that. And so shout out to Hallmark for that. Dano?
Yeah, I think the most frustrating part about this is it's a movie that tries to have its cake and eat it too. Like, I think John Brotherton is hysterical in this movie. Really, really funny. Kimberly Susted's great, as she always is, and is there and is game for comedy. But at some point, you either have to choose to be the satire or you have to choose to be the Hallmark Christmas movie. And this movie kind of tries to straddle that line for the first 2/3. And then when they finally have the two kiss, the last third of this movie is kind of unbearable. It's a dumb misunderstanding. It's some of the B plot stuff that doesn't work as well. And so the storytelling structure is good in this. The two leads are good. And the opening idea, like when we first dive into the first flashback, you're like, oh man, they are doing it. But then that wears off pretty quickly. Like that kind of like fresh feeling of they're going to really have a go at themselves in this movie. It wears off pretty quickly. And what you're left with is two good leads trying to do something that's the antithesis of what the film has kind of told you it is, which is having this sincere romance. And so I didn't buy it. I didn't buy the end of it at all. And for that reason, it at the end of the day is a thumbs down. But I love the try. Like, I love them trying this. And John Brotherton, I'd love to have him on the show because I think he'd be hysterical. I really liked him a lot. I thought he was really, really funny in this movie. It just didn't quite. I'd have rather them go like, remember Christmas Movie Christmas on Up TV? I would rather have them gone full bore with the satire instead of this kind of in between, like, have it both ways situation. And so that was kind of a downer. But aside from that, still one of the better ones of the year. I don't think the year's been that great so far. I would say definitely in the top half of the year, maybe in the top 2 or 3 we've seen this year in the Christmas season so far, but not near the level of Christmas Always.
But I actually like that it wasn't full satire because I felt like Christmas, it got old. Eventually, like, I like that this one still had its majority of it in reality.
I feel like then they probably should have scaled back on this. I would have been fine if they scaled back on the satire a little bit. Like either one. I just think they're in this mushy middle that doesn't do anything for me.
Okay. I'll allow it.
That's where I was.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Just this once. It's time for all the feels. Part of the show, we talk about what in this movie gave us those feels. Brian?
So what gave me feels here, and it was a surprised feels and sort of gratifying feels because they showed screens on the screen long enough for me to pause and verify what was on the screen. So they showed.
Can you tell me more?
Sure. For example, they showed a spreadsheet. Dan? I don't. Okay. They showed like an Excel sheet.
Spreadsheet feels.
Per finance.
We hit the jackpot, everybody.
Yeah, this is a good one. They showed the finances of her
Brian
business.
Harold's Christmas in July Christmas project that's under wraps.
Nina, reach on out. I paused it and I added up the numbers in one of the columns. Checked out. I was impressed. I only checked the first column.
Well, what are you even doing right now?
And also, there was a scene where she had her resume on screen.
Uh-huh.
I read the whole thing. There were only 2.
Would you hire her?
I would definitely schedule an interview with her to hear more. One of her skills was documents and spreadsheets, and so
documents.
Okay, I have some questions about what
the skill was. Documents,
yeah,
not like Google Docs.
No,
documents,
documents, and spreadsheets was another.
That's
point,
weird. That's weird.
But her other information on there, like somebody took the time to write it.
Good.
And I was impressed that they, sometimes they rush right through that stuff. And so,
in a movie when they're satirizing the making of Hallmark movies, it's weird that they would get that right.
They spent the time on that.
Yeah.
So I was, gratified.
It's new Hallmark.
It is.
Don't
bring
your baggage.
Don't sleep on new Hallmark.
Ryan, what you feeling in this?
Well, I feel very underprepared. I came with no math.
do fun.
I have a lovely. There's two things. I have a lovely 7.5 tree from Costco that I use every year. So I'm not a balsamic hill guy. Balsam Hill guy. Balsamic. That's
Balsamic Hill. Now that's a
that's a
woman
different
full of
thing.
balsamic vinegar.
Yeah, we're also working on that.
I just had a house salad earlier. Sorry, my apologies. But the Balsam Hill drop was cool.
Oh, yeah.
But then past, I referenced that because I didn't get a lot of visual feels in this. I thought the sets, like I wanted more Christmas sets from the Christmas film. It seemed like the majority of it took place either on the lot or in a cafe that had virtually no Christmas decor. But I did like Kimberly Susted's house. That made me happy. And Balsamic Hill coming soon to a store near you.
Yes.
That's right. It's a great dressing.
It smells great.
Oh yeah, it is.
Like
It's festive balsamic vinegar.
festive.
Right? Yeah.
Seasonal.
For a
I will say that
Christmas
is one of
meal.
this is one of my wait whats is the fact that Kimberly Susted's house is more festively decorated than the film is, which is not how these movies would be made at all in real life. So there's that. So I'm with you there, Ryan.
Mine, the bakery itself, I got a kick out of, and also wanted to eat all of the baked goods. There was so many baked goods in this bakery, over the top, which I thought was very funny, but also loved it. I was very excited when I turned on my TV on Sunday night and I found out that the cooking shows, the holiday baking shows, are coming on the Food Network. They're premiering. I love those. I love holiday baking shows. So very excited about that, and loved seeing all the baked goods in the Dan?
I also had spreadsheet feels. No, God,
They were legit spreadsheets.
no, sorry, no feels for me. Aside from I thought John Brotherton was really, really funny, and he crushed it in this movie. That's all I got.
All right. When you and John, you're going on your date when?
Well, it's soon. Hopefully,
Lord.
John.
He's in London. Though, so.
Dude, I thought he was great. I thought he was unbelievable in this
Yeah,
movie.
he's in London and he's going to ghost you.
Oh, he is going to ghost me.
That's exactly right. Let's take
I
one more.
did see the Ghost of John Brotherton live.
Oh
and
my
they
God.
were so
You got to
good.
take us to that.
Yeah, I know. It's a big get.
Let's take a quick break and we'll come right back and we'll do the Wait What and the What the Hallmark here on Deck the Hallmark on WTZR. Santa's Home. Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about lights, camera, Christmas, and we're going to break this down with two more segments. We're going to start with the hot take here on this side of the break, and I'll start with you, Brian.
If it's okay, I'm going to start with the wait what. On
What
this
did I
side
say?
of the break.
Yeah.
The hot take.
Guys,
hot
I'm going to
take.
go.
It's fair.
I'm going to
You
go
wanna
home.
go
Take a lap.
I'm going to
Just
go
take a
home.
quick lap.
I don't deserve to be here
Yes,
anymore.
Maybe some
This is what-
balsamic hill dressing will get some pep in your step.
Yeah, head over to the fridge.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's like apple cider vinegar. It's got a festive like peppermint after.
Yeah.
You just take a couple shots of that, you're good to go.
That's what I get.
Gargle it.
Yeah.
Good.
Ding.
What was that last thing?
Oh,
Were
I
you
like-
spitting into a spittoon there?
Ding.
All right, it's old-fashioned spittoon.
Spittoon. So in the very beginning, the producer takes a photo of BB with the mayor, and he takes the photo in landscape mode, and they show him taking the picture, and then BB flips it
Huge one.
twice. He
Huge
does
one.
it. He
Yes.
retakes it and flips it. And so obviously got to mention that. And I mean the obvious one that we would probably all have on our list, but I'll just start us off here. Nobody knows anybody's phone number.
No,
Period.
no one knows anyone's
I-
phone number.
I know.
That's
I mean,
absurd.
give me a break.
I made an argument here.
Yeah, you
I
tried.
made
You
an
tried.
argument.
Yeah.
The argument is if there was one person that you would know if you're an actor, it would be your agent's number.
Yeah, I just
Maybe, but I mean that's
and then
an
I immediately
argument.
said, "Brian, what's my cell?"
And
number?"
I knew your last four. One, you're
Last
not my
four.
agent.
That's right. And I actually knew your cell number, which
You
ruins the
did?
argument. But legitimately, the idea that you could take someone else's phone and call
Yes.
anyone aside from your significant other is just
Absurd.
crazy town.
But when you're married to your job,
Oh, I see what you did there.
your agent kind of like is.
And the other, just one more, I'll leave on this one. The crew seemed to have a lot of downtime while they
Yes.
were filming this movie. And I was just kind of surprised. I don't think it would go like that. I feel like it's more
Not in a
of
15-day
rush.
shoot, it wouldn't.
Yeah, I feel
No.
like it's a little more hectic.
You got to bang, bang, bang. Ryan, what you got?
I have several. I'll limit them because I don't want to step on others. But I was very disturbed early on in the film when they're doing the director-producer tension thing. And I believe it's Brotherton who says, after this shoot, she deserves a Purple Heart.
There it is.
Can't say that.
It just seems strong from, they
Listen, we
don't
have
seem
a,
like equatable things.
we have a lot of fun here at Deck the Hallmark. What you should never do is say that an assistant of a movie shoot deserves the same award given to a soldier who was injured irrevocably or died in battle.
I'm honestly surprised it made it through to the final draft. Like 2 weeks ago, Tom Brady had to apologize for saying that football's like being
That's
active service. So like, it's not something you say. You don't
say
joke
that.
about it.
You don't say
I was
it.
surprised. I was surprised it made it through a week after the Troops movie.
Yeah,
That's
so,
right. Yeah.
so there you go.
Not great on any level. Some quick hits. There was about 20 people at that tree lighting ceremony with the mayor. Why'd they keep taking the wide shot? Like, because like the close shot, it looked like there was a lot of people there, but
Dude.
they insisted on taking the wide shot where it was very clear that no one was there. I didn't get it.
I'm telling you right now, Ryan can just come on for me anytime. He's literally everyone
Doing
he's
your
got I
job.
had written down. He's nailing it right now. Keep going.
Okay. Early on in the film, the mom says, this is just small. This was probably just me. The mom says to Kimberly, she says, do you want to grab a ribbon and forget your troubles? Is that all it takes to forget your troubles? Is to grab a ribbon?
I wish.
Yeah, imagine that.
That's a good life hack.
Yeah.
And I have two more. It's okay if I need to stop, though.
No,
Go for it,
go
man.
for it.
All right. The whole hip Santa outfit thing, which is described as, quote, a total game changer, is literally just a Charles Dickens getup. It couldn't be. I mean, it's fashionable, but it's not new. I was perplexed because it's literally Dickens. And then lastly, at the end of the film, near the end, before the green screen thing, they go, "This is going to be the first ever female Santa Claus in the sequel," and that is just unequivocally not true
at all.
It bothered me greatly.
Not true at all.
Do you want to know what is a game changer?
Literally,
though?
Noel on Disney Plus was what, like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Like,
Hallmark has had films with female Santa Claus.
that's right. Alicia Witt was like,
That's
wasn't
right.
like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. Do you want to know what is a game changer?
What is?
This idea that Brian has for the July thing?
He told you about the idea.
Just bits and pieces.
He's starting to sprinkle it in
sprinkle a
there.
little
Sprinkle
bit,
it in here and
like a
there. You
crush
just gotta
cake.
be.
Yeah.
You just gotta be. Paying attention.
Nose to the grind.
He gets pizza in from New York
Ugh.
for their date, and I refuse to believe that that's still good. I know I did a bit a couple weeks ago on Instagram Live where I asked our friend Jax to bring down pizza from New York. I wouldn't have eaten it. It can't still be good. I can't imagine that happening. I also love the fact that she walks in to she's so excited she got an interview for this job, and she says, "I got an interview on Zoom in New York," which those are. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter where the Zoomer is taking place. It's over Zoom.
Yeah.
It's over Zoom. You don't have to say in New York. We don't call
Over
it that.
Zoom
Yeah.
in New York.
In New York.
In New York. Congratulations, Dan.
Yeah, this is the worst Jimmy Stewart impression I think anyone's ever seen on tape, on film, anywhere. And like we've all three, Panda, we've all done it before. We've all done Jimmy Stewart, and none of ours are great. But what he
Hold on,
does,
let's see. Ryan, give us a Jimmy Stewart.
You got a
Oh,
Jimmy
I'm
Stewart?
gonna have to. I can't besmirch. I don't want to even try.
I'll let
See,
you guys besmirch.
That's what our guy John Brotherson should have done.
He should have said that.
Said I wouldn't.
Or done his own thing and done like John Wayne instead. Mary, you pilgrim. Like he shouldn't have done Jimmy Stewart there because it's a terrible Jimmy Stewart impression.
That was not.
Like it's not even in the ballpark, dude. Like, is it bad on purpose? I don't
I
know.
don't know.
It's just bad. I'm sorry. You have a job offer in New York and a job offer in London, and what you decide to do is say no to one before accepting the other one. That's stupid. That's dumb. Like if you have two job offers, you go and confirm the one before you turn the other one down 100% of the time. You always go and be like, hey, I'm coming to London with you. And then you go and turn that thing down. You do not do one of those things, the negative thing first, in case the other one falls through. That was very, very difficult, especially as a misunderstanding. That whole thing was very, very difficult for me to like earnestly believe that these two people were having that conversation at that point. That was really hard. They do a good job of showing, as Brian said, in his hot take or the feels, I think it was the hot take, how like they light a movie and make a movie. But what's weird is that when they're in present day at this event, they don't spotlight the stage at all. The producer of the film is the host of the Q&A, and he looks like he's in the shadows waiting to pounce and murder someone. Like, we don't have a spotlight for the stage. We don't have something that would spotlight the people talking. What? And lastly, the whole charade of bringing her up on stage is ruined by the fact that after they finished filming the movie way back when, they hired her, didn't they? Didn't they end up hiring her when the movie was over?
Yeah.
So what is the deal? What's the deal with her being, either they bring the costume designer on stage or they don't, but she's in like, she's been working with them the whole time.
That is true.
It's not like they just saw her for the first time and went, oh my gosh, get up here. She's been with them the whole time.
Yeah, that brings me to what the Hallmark, which is how much time.
That's why I went to Hallmark too, because I was trying to do both.
Maybe the job, like, she hasn't done another job for them,
but clearly there's been enough time since they filmed the movie for everyone, like for John Brotherton to go and shoot another whole movie that's already wrapped production.
And she had already moved to LA.
Yes, they've been with her literally the whole time.
So they just weren't going to invite her up.
It's weird that they invited. That whole thing is ruined. The entire frame of this film doesn't hold up.
It's weird too, because if this was in LA where she was, why was her mom there?
And if it's back at home, why did they go all the way there to do this?
Why'd she leave LA?
Oh, it's the premiere of the movie.
So they premiered it there in that little town.
Maybe, yeah.
But she's been in LA. She's been with them.
Yeah, she should be busy in LA.
Bad. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I will give you that one. It's time for What the Hallmark is the show where we wonder what could have been, maybe helping us declare which would have. Brian, what are you still wondering about?
So while I was watching this, I had questions about labor, being how they would feel about this.
Like
situation.
Women in labor?
Just labor. You know, like how does labor unions, and how that would, I assume they would not be happy that they were just picking somebody from that town to work on the movie. But Rena in our double-decker group answered a few questions. So I actually got that answered. And she could start as a non-union member, and then she would have to join the union. So I assumed she joined the union because everything was good. But the other big question I had was, is it more fun for a crew to work on a movie like this where you're doing behind-the-scenes stuff, or is it more work? Like, is it harder to shoot the behind-the-scenes stuff and make it look like a movie set?
Oh, I see what you're at.
Yeah.
Or is it just easier because you don't have to, you don't have to cover up.
Well, I think you need extra of everything because they're using the stuff.
You're filming with things and lights.
So they need more of the stuff.
Yeah.
You can't like not use the stuff.
Yeah, they need more of the stuff.
They need more of the stuff.
For the stuff. They
For
need
the
the stuff to film.
They need the stuff, and then they need the stuff to film with the stuff.
It's a double stuff.
Yeah.
It's double stuff.
Double stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
That
goes great with the balsamic hill.
Oh my
I don't know
God.
if you know.
It's a natural. It's the peanut butter and jelly of our time.
That's
Ryan, what are you still wondering about?
I got two. I want the Dazzle Plus movie, the creation of Dazzle Plus, the inner workings of Dazzle Plus. I actually genuinely think that would be an interesting film. Here's this Christmas streaming service, and I actually would watch that. I mean, I watch all these things, but you know what I mean. And then the bigger thing, though, for me, the pressing issue here, Kimberly Sustad and Brotherton, they get together. But the elephant in the room is that Sustad's mother has a massive crush on. She was fawning over him at dinner. They get very close at that selfie at the end. This doesn't seem sustainable for the long term.
It's actually a Lifetime movie sequel.
Right.
So that was my big concern as we faded to black, is that this feels like trouble down the line.
It does.
Dazzle Plus After Dark.
That's where that's going.
And that and the Candy Crush Crusher, the Candy Cane Crusher. You're
doing great. So the mayor in this movie is a giant with the Hallmark, just in general, everything about him. But at the end of this movie, they're rapping and they're all talking, and the director, producer, whatever says, if we get another one of these, we're gonna come back and we're gonna film it here in 12 Oaks. And the mayor plays back the audio, who's recording it on his phone. And they all laugh. They chuckle. They say, this is funny. It's blackmail's funny. We love it. But like, how often is this guy doing this?
He's
Like-
on record nonstop.
like
Oh man.
is there a chance that the reason why they got to film this in the first place is he was in the right place, right time, recording audio like he does,
Wouldn't put it
and he
past
was
him.
able, like he has something on the Dazzle Plus, folks. Like
I always thought Trace recorded a lot, but not compared to this
not
guy.
this guy. Goodness
Yeah.
gracious, that guy. And I love how they all laughed. Like we love that.
He's recorded us again.
That is so funny when he does
Unbelievable.
that. It's
I
such
I
a
feel
good
like he'd
show.
either not last long as a mayor doing when people
Or
realize
he
he's
would
in,
last
or
forever.
forever.
Yes.
Forever. That's right.
Probably forever.
probably.
Yeah.
Dan?
My big one is how long in between the screening and when they actually made the movie, because we know that these are made in 15 days and they usually turn it around in a couple of months. But it's clear that they're treating this like a feature film where you wrapped principal photography and then there's a long editing and production process, and there's like been a lot of months that have spaced out because like it's long enough for them both to have had careers and not talk about it. And that was my big question, was how long are we supposed to believe it took them to take the photography of a Hallmark movie and put it together?
Tough
'Cause
sentence, man.
yeah, because we know how long it takes.
Yeah, more than fair.
Yeah.
We did, everybody. Congratulations. Ryan, thanks so much for joining, buddy.
You were great.
yeah.
man.
Excellent job.
Anytime.
I know there's tons of people out there listening to this and they're like, how can I get more Ryan talking about
A lot
wrestling?
of people in the chat don't even know his last name. So you can start there and then talk about your shows.
Sure. No, real quick. Ryan Pappolla. There's a lot of P's and L's. Very easy to find. Just keep repeating P's and L's. You'll find me. But I'm on Twitter at Bodie is Ryan, all those social platforms. And if you want to catch me talk about WWE, my primary show is WWE's The Bump, which airs weekly on Peacock and all of WWE's social platforms. That's Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, again on Peacock and all WWE socials. And then I host a bunch of other things. I'm on Twitter Spaces talking about our premium live events and a lot of other fun stuff. If you have any interest in WWE at all, give us a follow. We have a lot of fun.
And we're being invited onto the Peacock show. When
It's
is that?
interesting.
To
The
talk-
Bump. We're all going to be on
We're
the
gonna
bump.
all be on the bump?
great.
Phenomenal.
In LA?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, the Taker's calling again. So
Just put him on. Just put him on.
Did you just call him Taker?
Yeah,
As in
Taker.
his first name is Under?
when you interview a man several times, you know.
What's
you
his
call-
is his middle name like an Under M Taker?
All right, I'm under.
I've been to the pad at Death Valley. It's how these things go.
That's how, yeah.
No big deal.
That's
Yeah,
right.
all his friends call him Taker. Come on.
All Taker.
I'll
Hey,
take
Taker.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much for joining us, buddy. It was so much
This was a real thrill,
fun.
guys. Thank you.
And to everybody listening or watching at home, thank you. Until next time, maybe be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is the That Sounds Fun podcast. It's produced by Tracy Name. It's recorded live in, that Greenville, South Carolina. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com.